Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Doris and you're welcome. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, like the video, comment down below and turn the notification bells. When I drop a video, you would know. So today we'll be doing another wonderful review of a book. This book, titled How to Be a Great Communicator in Person, on Paper, and on the Podium by Nido Qubein. I hope I got that pronunciation right. Yes. So guys, this book is an amazing read. Everybody should read it to help you learn how to communicate. So today we're not going to be reading or reviewing all of it because, as you can see in the volume, it's quite a big volume. It's not like so massive, but it's sizable and it's a long read. So today we'll be talking about one major thing the author Nido talked about in his book, which is listening. Yes, Nido talked about listening in this book, and that's in chapter 9, and we'll be reviewing chapter 9 today. So now Nido talked about the benefits of listening, the why you should listen and how you should listen, and of course why people don't listen. So first of all, let's talk about why people don't listen. A lot of times people don't listen to you because they feel they already know what you're talking about. That's just an assumption, and it's a false assumption because you don't know everything. When you listen to people, you tend to learn something new every single time. Yes, so that, or another way people listen is selective listening. They choose what to listen to and what not to listen to, and in that, because of doing that, they miss out on some silent points that the whoever is giving the talk or whatever they are reading, whatever it is they are supposed to be listening to, they miss out on very important points. Another reason why people don't listen is when someone is talking excessively. Like when you're communicating with someone, it's expected that at least after talking for a little while, you listen and let the other person contribute to the conversation. After all, it's communication, and communication is a two-way thing. So when you're the one talking all the time, you don't give the other person a chance to talk. Communication is not happening at that moment. So yes, why should we listen? Why should we listen? And number one reason Nido gave why we should listen is when you listen, you learn from the other person. You learn from the other person's experience. You learn from the other person's ideas. You learn a lot when you listen to someone else. Yes, whatever the occasion is, even if it's your lecturer, even if it's your friend, even if it's your child talking, when you listen, you learn. You will show the people that you're listening to that you're concerned about them, that yes, you're here, you're listening. Like when you're listening, active listening, that's what we're talking about in this case, active listening. It shows the people that yes, you're interested in them, you're interested in what they are talking about, and you're there for them. Yes. So you also gain insight into the way they perceive things. Like you gain insight into someone else's perspective when you listen. Yes, again, when you listen, you can clarify misconceptions. Let's take, for instance, that you said something or someone said something to you that got you offended and you don't talk about it. And finally, you make out time to talk about it. Then when you go out to the person pouring out your heart to explain that whatever was said hurt you, when you don't listen to the person's perspective, a lot of times you will not clarify that issue. But when you listen, what happens is that you begin to see why the person said what the person said, and in most cases you will realize that the person meant no harm whatsoever. And in cases when they do mean harm, they now know that what they said hurt your feelings, that they apologize, and that's one relationship that you've just mended just because you poured out your heart and listened. So listening mends relationship. It helps a great deal. When you listen to people, that's when you can prefer solutions to their problems. No, you don't just listen so you prefer solution of that. Don't get me wrong. You listen, so you show them, yes, you're concerned about what they're talking about. Then at the end of the day, you will now know how best to advise, how best to counsel them or correct them in whatever the case. How do you listen? You listen with your ears, you listen with your eyes. Yes, you listen with your body too. When someone is saying something interesting, yes, you nod your head. You give prompts like, okay, go on. Yes, okay. So what now happened next? prompts like that keep the conversation going. Yes, that's one way to listen, because you're in a communication. So let the person know, yes, you're still with them. You listen attentively. Yes, attentively. That means you stop what you're doing. If you're fondling with your phone, you stop it and you give the person your whole attention. You're looking into the person's eyes. So you make a connection with them, so they know that they are talking right. They are talking to someone that is listening. Another way to listen, which it's not in all cases, is to take notes when you're listening. There's some people you will listen to, and when you take notes, they will pour out all the wisdom in their hearts, just because you're taking note. Taking note makes it look like you're taking what they're saying seriously and you have plans of implementing them. So yes, here's another story Nido told about how listening landed someone a job. I'll be reading from the text. Many years ago, a young man went to a Western Union office to apply for a job as a telegrapher. In those days, messages are still transmitted in Morse course through audible clicks. The young man had no experience in telegraphy, but he had studied it at home and he knew the code. His heart sank as he walked into the office and looked over the crowd of people filling out application forms. As he sat down with his own form, he heard a clicking noise in the background. He stopped filling out his form and he listened. Then he dashed into the nearby office. Moments later, a man emerged and told the other applicants that they could go home. The job has just been filled. What got him the job? The clicking noise was the sound of the telegraph receiver. The young man was paying attention, listening. So the young man listened and translated the clicks into words. And the words that the telegraph receiver was saying was, if you understand this message, come into the office. The job is yours. So because he listened, he was able to get the job. So listening pays off. Listening pays off. Today, practice active listening. Practice, practice, practice. These things don't come naturally to us, especially when you're a talker. Yeah, you have to pause and listen. Listening can save you a whole lot of problems. Yes, listening right, because oftentimes too we hear things that people didn't say or we misinterpret them. No, listening, active listening is a two-way thing, is an interactive process. So yes, that's about the book review for today. Learn to communicate effectively. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I still remain your host, Doris. And don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, don't forget to like, and see you in the next video. Bye.